It is 11 o'clock, hour number 2, as the remote here at Crafts on 280 continues. As Birmingham Stallion players, we're waiting head coach AJ McCarron to show up momentarily. A great crowd. Appreciate everyone already stopping by. The first 50 folks is going to get free lunch by Crafts on 280. So look forward to catching up with some of the players and, of course, head coach AJ McCarron. We have been following the ongoing story with Charles Bediako down in Tuscaloosa. The hearing has ended. It began at 9:30. It ended a few moments ago. Charles Bediako and his legal team, they have left the courtroom. There is no decision as of now, but the word is that the judge could rule soon. The decision could come as early as 4 o'clock this afternoon, so we'll see what happens. So we are more than 24 hours away from the Iron Bowl of basketball down in Auburn, Alabama. So I guess it would be prudent if we had a decision sooner than later.
Well, and that's the interesting part because Matt Stahl from AL.com, he's the one that, reported the judge told both sides to submit their proposed orders by 4 p.m. today in the hearing. If that's the case, then you're going to have less than 24 hours between the ruling in this case and the tip-off of the Iron Bowl of basketball. And I do think, obviously, I'm sure they're doing their due diligence and preparing if Bediako is available and if he's not, if they're Alabama. But you would probably like to know 24 hours out of a pretty big rivalry game who you're going to have available. That'd be helpful information, I would think, for Nate Oates.
Well, the good news is that they can probably get him to Auburn pretty quickly, even if a decision comes much later, since it's just right across the state. So, so the judge supposedly will rule soon on Bediako's request for a preliminary injunction to allow him to continue to play basketball at the University of Alabama. As you hear, the horsemen have arrived.
It is packed out here.
It is absolutely packed, and we'll be here until 2 o'clock. The Stallions are some giveaways and other things that's going on.
Got John Bird here in his Stallions gear.
The famous John Bird has arrived here. Always good to see John.
This is great.
A radio legend. That's right, I called you a radio legend. And he's laughing. Did I get a hug from John Bird because I said you're a radio legend?
She's just a who's who.
It is. That's where you need to be, right here. Oh, give him some. There you go. Orlando's signing autographs. You know it's a big remote when Orlando's signing autographs.
I know. Orlando's chopping it up with the Seahawks fans here. We got multiple Seahawks fans here getting ready for Sunday.
They do. They got a Super Bowl coming up Sunday, and, of course, the Stallions, April 18th.
And there's Coach AJ McCarron walking up.
There you go. AJ making his way across the way, and fans starting to cheer for AJ. We'll catch up with AJ McCarron momentarily here on the program. So Charles Bediako, hearing has ended in Tuscaloosa. Not really sure, as Mike Rodak told us yesterday, whether it was going to be a decision that was going to come quick or it was going to be released later in the day, and all indications from Nick Kelly and others that are down there right now that it could come as early, I guess, as 4 o'clock maybe.
How does Paul keep getting away with this, Pat?
Things happening in the middle of his show.
Things just keep happening in the middle of Paul's show. But, yeah, I mean, obviously we'll stay on top of this. If anything does come out, we hear anything, we'll let you know. But, the early indications that we won't have a hearing or a decision on the hearing until at least 4 p.m. today. But you never know how these things go.
So Mike Rodak, he just posted moments ago, he says there was not much of a hint from Judge Daniel Pruitt on which way he would rule. He heard arguments from both sides before calling the attorneys. So, whatever that means.
Whatever that means. I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted by all the chanting going on in the background. But I hope that one way or the other, when the sun sets tonight and we go to bed, that we have finality.
I think you will.
And I think that's what a lot of people want, one way or the other. Because, again, like I said, if Charles Bediako is ineligible, that is great, perfectly fine. Move along, business as usual. Just have a decision. And I think with just the way that things typically go in college athletics, it seems to take a long time to get these answers and decisions made. So hopefully we get that today.
Oh, so they were chanting for AJ, not Bediako's hearing?
Yeah, no, that was for AJ.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard AJ's opinion. Maybe we'll ask AJ what he thinks about his alma mater being raked over the coals by the current commissioner of the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, I wonder if he has the same opinion as Poe.
Poe wants us to continue with the
Poe was all about it.
Open a can of you-know-what.
I was about to say, he's probably thinking we're going too easy on the commissioner today.
All right, so we will continue to follow the Charles Bediaco situation that's going on down in Tuscaloosa. We do have basketball, as Coach Wim Sanderson wanted to remind us, and it's a great docket of games. It starts tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock as number 21 Arkansas takes on Mississippi State. You got Mizzou at South Carolina. Then it really gets interesting after lunch. You got Ole Miss at Texas, Oklahoma at Vandy, Bama, Auburn. That's a 3 o'clock tip. You can hear it right here on Jocks as the Iron Bowl of basketball renew the rivalry tomorrow at Neville. Will Charles Bediaco be involved? We'll have to wait and see. Then you've got Georgia at LSU. Number 17 Florida will take on Texas A&M down in College Station. And then tomorrow night's a really good one. Number 25 Tennessee takes on Kentucky. That is at 7:30.
Yeah, I'm really excited for tomorrow's slate. And I mean, Wimp touched on it, right? The two games you have at 7:30, obviously the IBOB we're all the most excited for, but the two games at 7:30, a lot of intrigue there, right? Can Texas A&M get a big win over Florida and kind of prove a lot of people right that they do belong at the top of the conference? Or is this where you start to see, okay, yeah, maybe that narrative about them not really playing a tough schedule does come into effect, and you see them start to struggle a little bit. And then for Tennessee, right, that was a team we had multiple people tell us in the last week that's a team trending in the right direction right now. Can they continue doing so? Or, can Kentucky get a big win? Or is this going to be another game where, let's say, Tennessee wins by 20-plus, and you're sitting there going, what's Kentucky doing? Because it feels like we do that every 2 weeks, and that would be right on schedule right now.
1-800-239-WJOX. Let's get back to the phones. Many of you have chimed in this morning your opinion on the Charles Bediaco situation. JD joins us next here on Three Man Front. Hey, JD.
Hey, good morning. It's glad to talk to y'all again. I listen to y'all every day. I mean, I'm a delivery driver, so I start off with the young guns, and I finish up with Paul. So I appreciate what y'all do, and I thank you for taking my call, first off. And then secondly, it's like I'm a 51-year-old man that's been out of college for a little while, but all I did was play a year and a half of college. So I still legitimately have eligibility, and I was on scholarship playing baseball, and I've been throwing to little leaguers for the last 25 years, so I think my arm's still good. I mean, could I not, apply and file for a lawsuit in Alabama to try to get, on somebody's team, I mean,
possibly.
Doesn't hurt to try at this point, right?
Hey, look, I promise you right now, I'll go throw a few fastballs for $20,000. I swear I will, right now.
Hey, JD.
I love y'all. I love y'all to death, and I hope y'all have a great day. And I appreciate what y'all do.
Yeah,
appreciate it very much.
JD.
We know what our next guest. I'm not really sure. I think his eligibility's out, but we're going to ask him.
Nah, he can get one more year.
The head coach of the Birmingham Stallions, AJ McCarron, joins us. I know you've been following this Bediaco case.
Yeah.
And the craziness that's going on. So technically, do you have any eligibility left at all?
I mean, the way it's looking with the NCAA, and I think you turned me down.
Yeah.
There we go.
The way it's looking with the NCAA, I think I might. All I got to do is file a lawsuit.
You got Tom Maher's phone number? You're good to go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that you could find a favorable judge down at the on the coast, right?
I would hope so.
You got a few people down there.
Yeah.
You got a few friends.
Yep.
All right, so enough of that. Let's talk about why you're here. And great crowd.
Yep.
You can tell the enthusiasm. So take us back. You were in our studio right after you were named the head coach of the Stallions, and you were excited. You were pumped up. And when you get out in events like this with the fans, it has to solidify your decision to come and be the head coach of the Stallions.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, it's in my home state. I understand the legacy and the tradition of the Stallions, and to have the opportunity to be a head coach not only for Birmingham but in the UFL is something that is just special. You can't pass down. There's only 8 of them. So, no, I'm excited to see the new passion and fan base grow even more. And hopefully we do a good job of that, and then putting a good product out on the field. That's what matters.
So what's the transition been like? Because we haven't had a UFL player transition to head coaching. You know the league very well. What's that been like? Has it been kind of weird to be on the other side of things, or has it been pretty easy, smooth transition?
Man, to be honest with you, I think it's helped me more than anything when it comes to getting some of these guys when it comes to free agency and being able, you look at our receiver room and how stacked it is. It's making calls to guys that I've played with or played against.
John Ross.
Yeah. And so pulling them, to our team instead of somebody else is always great. So I think it's been an awesome transition. Mike Rapoli has been a great owner. I mean, he's all about ideas, how to grow the game, how to get more people involved. It's been great for me.
How about the process, the draft? It looked like you were having a lot of fun, especially getting your quarterbacks.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. There was a lot of probably about a month and a half of not going to bed till about 1, 2 a.m., but being able to be back in the game, watch film from a different side of it as well, and really use the scouting that I've learned throughout my years, being at Alabama under Coach Saban and working with Siski and then also at the next level all the years in the pros, and, being able to just see little things to tell, like, hey, this guy would fit our system, or this guy's a baller. He was just in a bad system. So I've loved every minute of it. It fits me more from waking up each and every day than the avenue I was going down. But that was still an honor as well. But I love being a part of the game.
How has it helped having, you're putting your coaching staff together? I know you and Siski obviously very familiar with each other. You do a podcast,
yep,
all that good stuff. I know you got some former Alabama guys that you've had around the program. How does that help, having that familiarity and guys that maybe kind of already understand the culture, your mindset, what you're trying to bring to bear?
Well, it's huge. And that was the biggest thing for me, is getting guys that, one, I trust, and then two, that understand the mindset of how I want to build this thing. The biggest thing for me was getting guys that I had experience with from a OC and defensive coordinator standpoint. I thought we had a deal done with Jeremy Pruitt, and then guess what? My second option was no other than Kevin Shearer.
Yeah.
It was not hard for me, but I wanted to take that Alabama mindset of, hey, listen, we're going to work hard. And it's not being so much from a result-oriented thought process to more just of the process it takes. Because I think that when you look at this league, the biggest thing and reason why you don't see more guys go to the NFL or sustain it when they are there is they just don't understand what it takes to sustain success. And so for a guy that's played in this league and then went back to the NFL and played a long time in the NFL, I think, and also being – recently out of playing, to be able to share experiences, mindset, hey, this is how I dealt with it, these are the things you're going to go through, and that's what makes it special for me.
You guys have been in the news. You just mentioned John Ross a couple moments ago, that he signed with the Stallions. Any other kind of roster additions here recently that you want to tell the fans about that has you and the rest of the staff excited?
I mean, be honest with you, I think everybody, listen, we're going to have to drop a receiver today, and, it was a late ad that we had, and with Steven going out, Gonzo, I got to add another O-lineman.
Okay.
So we're going to add an O-lineman today, but after that, we're going to, figure out the kicking situation, what Hot Rod's going to do. That's a little up in the air right now. I'm supposed to have an answer.
Because as you know,
today.
Birmingham has had a long list of successful kickers
big
that
time.
have now gone on and done a really nice job in the NFL.
Yep, 100%. And so being able to get our long snapper back that we had last year, and if I can – Hot Rod doesn't sign a futures deal, then he'll be with us, and if not, that's why I drafted two kickers. We took our top two on the board, and then we'll play the numbers after that.
Have you had any further discussions with Mike Rapoli about the coaching shirtless? Because based on the turnout here, it seems like that might be.
I think a lot of people want to see that.
Seems like that might be a real possibility. I'm just saying.
Well, you never know. I haven't had that talk with him yet, but listen, if we can get 20,000 in protective, I have no issue coaching the series without it. Whatever I need to do to keep the fans coming back, and but also listen. I mean, at the end of the day, I want to put a good product out. That's why we busted our tails in the draft process to get the best guys that we thought. And I mean, I thought we really had a really, really good draft, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was going to go back there. I want to go back to the quarterback room because the conversations with Matt Corral and being able to have him back. Now, I know he was beat up last year,
Yep.
And so I know that he's healthier now, and he's looking forward to coming back. But how did those conversations go, and was there a lot of arm pulling to try to get him back in Birmingham?
No, it wasn't at all. It was pretty easy. We made a call. He wanted to, play for us again, play for Birmingham, but then also have the experience of playing with me. He knows Siskey from Ole Miss. So being back in that offense, what they ran at Ole Miss, and also having a mixture of what I've done in the past. But I think, us being able to work together, and that's the biggest thing when I look at college and a lot of pros as well, is a lot of these quarterback coaches are not guys that have played quarterback. And that's the toughest thing for me. And we wonder why development at the college level is lacking or the pro level is lacking. It's because you got guys coaching them that have played tight end or have played DB. Like, they haven't played the quarterback position. And when I view the quarterback position, the only way you can coach it is if you've been through it. Right. So, listen, for Matt, it was awesome to get him back. Another one I'm super excited about is Taylor Elgersma. The guy, won the Heisman of Canada. He's a big dude, 6'5", about 230. You watch him, he has like a Big Ben in Pittsburgh little game about him where he's hard to bring down in the pocket. And then for us, we had Jaron Hall, and but after that, when Jaron said, hey, I'm going to go another route, and probably CFL, it was nothing for us to call Michael. I wanted to get a local guy, give him his opportunity. I mean, he's been a hell of a player at Sanford. And I think a lot of those guys, because they're undersized or played at a smaller college, also get passed on. And, listen, I'm all three of them are going to come in and compete, and whoever's the best is going to win the job.
I have a question about how you coach in the UFL, and I know this is your first year, but as a player, maybe you have that perspective on it. Because I think a big topic in college football now is these kids are soft. You can't be hard on them. You got to be nice to everybody or they're going to transfer out. In the UFL, is it different, right? Because the guys are a little bit older. I feel like the guys are probably – not saying the guys in college don't work hard, but, you're doing this for the love of the game. Right? You're not doing it because you're making $2 million a year. So is it a little easier maybe to coach guys at the UFL level because they're willing to take that hard coaching and you can kind of get on their ass a little bit?
Well, I think so. Listen, the fact that you can't transfer or just leave whenever you want.
That helps.
It helps a ton. But, listen, they're going to get coached hard when they get to the next level. My goal is to get everybody. I want a new roster as much as possible each and every year, right? I want these guys to make it to their ultimate goal and playing in the NFL and being able to sustain it and stay there. So yes, listen, we're going to practice hard. I'm going to coach hard, but also the thing I loved is always being and playing for a player's coach, right? And understanding how to take care of guys, when to push them. And the thing about playing the quarterback position is you can't talk and coach everybody the same. All right, I might have a guy over here that grew up hard, and his understanding of how he's coached is, all right, you got to go after him.
Yeah.
There's another guy that didn't come up the same way. I got to pull him off to the side and be able to talk to him. Like that, playing the quarterback position has taught me that over the years. So coaching's the same way. There's going to be guys that you can call out in front of the group and get on to. And there's going to be guys that, hey, you got to pull them into the office and talk to them that way. So we're gonna coach hard. We're going to practice hard, and we're going to play hard. But I'm also going to take care of the guys because the biggest goal is to get them to game day.
Yep. All right, final question before we let you go, because got a lot of things I know you got to do here at this remote. But I wanted to ask you, because when you were in studio last, we're kind of joking around with you about your former coach, Coach Becht. And now he's at Orlando. So any smack talk? You guys going back and forth a little bit, getting ready for that opening game?
Oh, yeah. Right now he's on RP in St. Louis. He made that little video the other day that I always tell AB, listen, here in Alabama, we don't need to wrap up and be all bundled up. We just, wherever you want us to play, we'll show up and play, spot the ball like Siskey said, and let's go. But, no, it'll be fun. Home opener versus him. I'm sure, stay tuned on that. There'll be a lot of smack talk going back and forth.
Great. Absolutely.
That is the head coach of the Birmingham Stallions, former Alabama great, two-time national championship winning quarterback, AJ McCarron joining us here on 3-Man Front. AJ, great to see you again.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank y'all so
Thank
much.
you so much. That's AJ McCarron. We're back live at Crafts on 280 here on Jocks. It is 11:23 on an absolutely gorgeous Friday. We're live at Crafts on 280. Man, the food looks fantastic. Conrad and I are going to try to do our part here during one of our commercial breaks to be able to enjoy some of the best chicken you're going to find anywhere in Central Alabama is right here at Crafts on 280. Just a phenomenal crowd. Appreciate AJ McCarron. We're going to be talking to a couple other Stallions players momentarily here at Crafts on 280. You can't miss it. Located right here on 280, right next to the Hampton Inn. So Charles Bediaco, his hearing ended, about an hour ago, Conrad? Something around there?
Yeah, it was around 10:45. Yeah,
okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, about 45 minutes ago, I guess. And each side in the Bediaco case, they have until 4 p.m. to submit proposed orders. So we'll see exactly what happens maybe before 4 o'clock.
I was about to say we could get something before then.
Correct. They have until 4 to give the judge something, so I would think that the judge will take a look at things, and then they'll go from there. A couple of quick notes that Nick Kelly pointed out as he was in the courtroom, and he made some notes. about Bediako. You want to go over that, Conrad, in regards to how much money Charles Bediako has made?
Yeah, so Nick Kelly tweeted this out. It's just a couple of quick things that we learned about, I guess, Bediako and what he's been doing since leaving Alabama and entering the G League. So it says that in the court hearing, they noted that Bediako has made just under $530,000 since going pro in 2023. But they also listed that his base salary for this season of G League play was between $40,000 and $50,000. Those numbers came courtesy of Bediako's attorney. Also, he is listed, according to his attorney, as a United States citizen, not a Canadian citizen.
Okay.
And then finally, the question was asked if he is ultimately denied, would he be able to return to the G League this season? And according to his attorney, he said it's a possibility but not a certainty. So I would imagine that would be something they would argue as well as, well, if you waited this long to tell my client that he's ineligible, well, you've now prevented him from going back and playing in the G League and prevented him from making a living wage for the remainder of the year, whatever it may be. So just a couple of notes there, courtesy of Nick Kelly at AL.com from the hearing.
All right, here's a little bit more from the hearing. The judge pressed Bediako's attorney, David Holt, on the idea that an injunction to avoid suffering irreparable harm needs to be even given. Pruitt said the reasons for the harm laid out by Bediako's attorneys could have been avoided by him staying out of the draft in 2023. So if you're listening to that in the courtroom, that definitely gives you the opinion that the judge potentially, at least on that area, is siding with the NCAA.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
He said the other reason, lost compensation, is something that could be calculated and won at trial with money damages, not requiring an injunction to play right now. So the judge is saying that you basically, could sue somebody, but you don't need to be
like, yeah, you can sue and try to get paid for the money you lost, but we're still not going to let you play.
Yeah. So I would tell you, based on what I'm reading, and
I think we know how this is going.
It does not change my opinion from this morning before the show and before the hearing. I told many folks, including you knew how I felt. I thought that this was going to go against Bediako, especially when the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference puts his name on a legal document. Listen, Commissioner Sankey is not in the business of getting to where he is in life to hitch his wagon to a losing horse.
No.
So
no,
I think there's another reason why that happened.
I think you're absolutely spot on. So, yeah, I mean, I would be, like you, shocked if he is ultimately ruled eligible, and this will end up being a very interesting footnote in the history of Alabama basketball that we will look back on in the future and go, man, what the heck happened there? But, based on that, and look, I guess that's a fair argument to make, right, is this could have all been avoided if you had never decided to go into the NBA draft, which, to be fair, going back to 2023, I remember myself and essentially every other Alabama fan was, don't go to the NBA draft because everyone knew that he wasn't ready for it. And, the reality of it is there are consequences to your actions and your decisions, and this very well may be the consequence of his decision to leave early.
Well, Bediako's attorney, he was trying to press the judge. He said that if he loses the injunction, talking about Bediako, he may never have the opportunity to compete again. And he would also lose the chance to compete or complete his degree because the cost of remaining in school without a scholarship could be prohibitive.
Yeah.
So that is the angle in which they are doing. So it goes without saying, just reading in between the lines what folks are talking about, it just seems to me that it appears that what the way the judge is angling with some of these comments, that it definitely believes that the plaintiffs in this case, Bediako, needs to prove a lot more, just based on what I've read. So,
well, it seems like that finality that I was looking for is going to happen today.
NCAA attorney Taylor Askew, he said the case is about money and not academics. If we're being intellectually honest, and he still has opportunities to compete, even if he is not allowed to play at Alabama. Askew said an injunction is an extraordinary remedy and cited other similar cases where injunctions were granted. Askew said there would be harm to the NCAA if the injunction is granted because it would lead to 50 more lawsuits and the chaos that he says the NCAA gets blamed for. Well, there's already chaos, dude. I mean, there doesn't need to be a decision.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
well, and that's like the the clip or the quote you read from Darren Heitner, where it's okay. So you're talking about how this is going to hurt the integrity of college athletics and the eligibility ruling, but you've done that yourself, NCAA. You've already done that. You've set this up for yourself. This mess was not created by Charles Bediako. This has been going on for years.
so
Yeah. What a day.
Yep. We will continue. We are live at Crafts on 280 with the Birmingham Stallions. We've already talked to AJ McCarron. We hope to catch up with some of the players, including offensive lineman Mason Brooks. He is scheduled to be with us in just a couple moments. The guard who finished his college days at Ole Miss, played for the Commanders of the NFL, now a Birmingham Stallion. We'll hope to catch up with him, and also former Sanford quarterback Michael Hires, who is in the quarterback room now for the Birmingham Stallions. All that straight ahead. We're live here at Wonderful Crafts on 280 here on Jocks. We're back here on Jocks. This is three-man front. Pat Conrad, we are live at Crafts on 280 in conjunction with the Birmingham Stallions. We've already talked to the head football coach of the Birmingham Stallions, AJ McCarron, and we're happy to be joined now by Mason Brooks, offensive lineman. Former Ole Miss Rebel joins us here on three-man front. Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy, brother. I got some rowdy fans here. I'm loving it.
You
dude.
love it or what?
Yeah,
You feel like
it's
you're
awesome.
in SEC country still,
Yeah,
though?
it feels like just the South, man. It's good to be back in the South, so never gonna complain.
So how is it? I know that you have been up north in all these NFL camps, including the Commanders, getting back down here to God's country.
Yeah, it's nice, man. I'm never going to complain. I wish there were more NFL teams in the South, to be honest with y'all. It feels like everyone down here has to pull for the same couple teams, so it's nice to be able to provide the state of Alabama with some pro football, so I'm excited about it.
All right, so before we get into the Stallion stuff, we have to ask you, what'd you think about the whole Lane Kiffin situation?
Oh, my goodness. Listen, y'all, I plead the fifth on so much of this stuff because of what I saw when I was there, but I'm not surprised.
There we go.
Yeah.
You know, they're calling them the Lanestein files, I think some people are calling them.
Oh,
But
yeah.
what's coming out, I'm not surprised, and so I think there's just like bell curve of like you think you know him, and then you're like, oh, and then you're like, oh no, he
Now wait
really
a second.
is.
So you mean to tell me that at the Square you weren't one of his wingman?
I can say that I observed some wingmanery, but a little odd to see your coach at the dive bar. So yeah, I kept off the square for the most part.
Okay,
fellas, so.
all right, I understand that.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, so all right, let's talk about your new team, Birmingham Stallions, and you're talking about the fans, the excitement level. This franchise has had a history of winning championships, and last year it was odd for us not covering a championship team, and so now new head coach with AJ McCarron bringing a sense of enthusiasm. And listen, you know this part of the world because you played in the Southeastern Conference, and you're getting a little bit of taste of it today.
For sure, yeah. Like I said, I'm excited to be down here. Obviously, I was with DC last year.
Yeah.
And we were able to take the whole thing home. I was actually injured for the championship game, so I didn't even get to play in it. So for me, I'm still
hungry.
I'm still hunting, still
That's
hungry.
right.
So the reallocation happened, and AJ called me and let me know early that they were going to be gunning for me, and it was kind of an arms race there to see where I was going to end up between there and DC, and happy to be here, fired up to play with a bunch of former guys and guys I know, and got to know JoJo already over the weekend, and he's a great dude. And so, I think there's something special down here for sure. So
all right, walk us through how does that work? Because obviously they have the draft,
Yeah.
right? And that's how a lot of this goes about. But, like, for you, do you have, is it a little bit like free agency at times?
I mean, like, you say walk us through because, like, I kind of had to get walked through. To be
Oh, okay,
honest
well,
with
there
you
you go.
guys.
That's why you have an agent.
Yeah,
That's why you have somebody to take care of that, right?
My agent's not really well versed on it. I think I love what Rapoli's doing. He's involved. He really cares. It doesn't feel like a brokerage is managing the league. It really feels personal, like he cares, like he wants the league and the teams to be successful. So from my understanding was pretty much I just got a call and it said, hey, look, before each team's going to get to save some of their players that are coming back. But before that, we're going to let 3 regional players be allocated. And so I got a call pretty much immediately from Birmingham. They said, we're going to, tackles matter to us, and we're going to come get you. And then I said, well, I don't know if DC's going to let that happen. And they said, oh, it don't matter. We got first pick. So that was just a wild experience, but really cool, and it feels good to be wanted, obviously. And I had a great time in DC, but it's nice to have a staff use one of those picks on you and really care. So I'm excited.
So when it comes to, I guess it's the off season, how all this works. Like, have you gotten to meet a lot of your teammates? Y'all get to hang out, work out, go through training together? Or y'all still kind of waiting to get to that part of the
We're
process?
doing Zooms right now, Zoom meetings, just because people are all over. But we won't officially meet up for a couple of weeks.
Because you're training in Arlington again, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I
Do you already have a plan? You're a Texas guy,
I'm a Texas guy, right? So I live in Austin, train in Austin. So I'm actually training with some guys in the league. But yeah, I'll be out in Dallas probably before the team gets there, and it happens fast. But I mean, it's an intimate setting, a lot more intimate than some of the NFL teams. Where guys kind of have their own thing going on. It's a lot of guys chasing the same goal, and so you kind of end up in a group of like-minded people. So it's good. All
right, so let's talk about the quarterback room that you're going to have to protect. They're going to have to become really good friends with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What do you think, Matt Corral and the rest of the guys?
Absolutely.
Michael Hires that's here with you.
Obviously, Matt has that Ole Miss connection. I played with Tamu last year, and so I love my Ole Miss quarterbacks. I got love for Jackson Dart and Luke Altmaier, too. I love them all, but excited to finally get to play with Matt. I got to Ole Miss after Matt was gone, so Heard lots of good things, saw lots of good tape, and so fired up to link up with Matt. And then Taylor, coming from Canada. I mean, I know not a lot of people in the South obviously are watching Canada ball, but he is a baller, stone cold baller. He killed it. I remember he got called into the Senior Bowl, and I remember watching some of his tape. He killed it. So excited for him. And then Mike's like a local legend, I guess, man.
Sanford guy.
He was a high school quarterback at Briarwood High School. Went to Sanford, put up some crazy numbers.
Yeah.
So
I mean, people here love him, and so I've looked at those video game stats from Sanford. So I imagine he can sling the rock as well. So that's gonna be awesome.
So are you the kind of guy that slides into like a leadership? I'm just meeting you and talking to you for 5 minutes. Like you have such an infectious personality. I feel like you're the kind of guy that walks in immediately. Everybody's like, whatever Mason. Yeah, we're doing what Mason says.
I don't know if it's always a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes I don't want to lead the lemmings off the hill, but I'm excited. Like I said, I played in this league last year and won a championship, whatever that's worth, and I have some NFL experience. So excited for the opportunity to step in a leadership role. Possibly with this team, but just excited to work with a lot of these guys. The O-line coach was my O-line coach in college. Siski and me have a connection. We kind of go back, and then me and AJ. So knowing these guys, I think, makes kind of the camaraderie a little bit easier and more of a gel fit for me. So
all right, so we got Super Bowl Sunday coming up, and you've been with a few teams in the NFL. Just your thoughts on the game coming up Sunday. Could we have a New England upset, or is this Seattle's to take on?
I don't know, man. That Seattle defense is nuts, dude. I'm pulling for the Pats, to be honest with y'all. I like me an underdog. But, that Seattle defense is top notch. I train with Charles Cross too for Seattle.
Okay.
So
there you go.
I'd be remiss, fellow Mississippi player. I'd be remiss if I didn't show some
yeah.
love there. So I'll roll with the Seahawks for me.
All right, I got to ask you a selfish question.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I do know the last NFL team you were with was Miami.
Yes.
He's a Tua fan. Big
Oh.
Tua fan.
Well, you can see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What's he like in real life?
I actually didn't interact with Tua that much.
Okay.
When I was there, but I do really like Tua.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just so much pressure on guys, and people don't know him. Bryce Young's the same way. Like I was with Bryce.
Yeah,
in Carolina,
Yeah.
right? And just a funny Bryce story. We were in Buffalo at a Bills game, playing against the Bills, and we were driving through just like flat country. And I was sitting next to Bryce on the bus, and he said, "Golly, who would want to live out here? There's nothing out here." And Cade Mays, I don't know if you know who Cade Mays is.
Yeah.
He's
Absolutely.
sitting behind him, and he said, "You ever gotten to wake up and walk to your porch and just take a piss off your porch?" And Bryce said, "I don't need to do that, dude." He said, "You don't want an
In
acre?"
California, they don't do that.
Oh, Bryce said, "If I had an acre, I'd build a house on the whole acre." Kate said, "An entire acre home, man." He said, "You don't know." So it's just funny. Those guys are like they're people. I think so often you chalk Tua up to mistakes or whatever else.
Yeah.
But Tua was a great guy. Bryce was a great guy. Most Alabama Auburn players I interact with, not to strike a chord, but are great guys. The South tends to breed high characters. So.
That's right. Coming from a good Texan.
I just had to ask.
Oh, no, for sure.
I just
Great
had to
question.
ask.
Great question.
All right. Listen, it is great to see you. We're so happy that Mason Brooks is a Birmingham Stallion. I'm glad that we won the tug of war with DC to be able to get you down
Absolutely,
here.
man.
So,
you're going to be a fan favorite, no doubt about it.
Love it.
Absolutely. The Horsemen are going to love you.
Yeah.
You're going to love all those half-naked men in
Yeah,
the
they
end
get
zone.
after it. Let's hope they keep their shirts on in crafts so the police don't get called.
Absolutely. Mason, thanks for joining us.
For sure.
It's great to meet you. More from Crafts on 280 here in conjunction with the Birmingham Stallions and three-man front. This is Jocks.
Welcome back into 3-Man Front. We are live here at Crafts on 280. Myself, Conrad Van Order, Pat Smith out here, Molly Robinson holding down the fort back at the Jocks studio. And we a lot of Stallions fans out here. We'll be here until 2 o'clock, so I hope you can come and enjoy all the great festivities. The players, head coach AJ McCarron, we got free food, we got giveaways, all that good stuff. Come see coming up on Sunday, as it is Super Bowl Sunday with the Patriots and the Seahawks. And who better to bring on at this time than our buddy JR, who always knows where the sharp money's going. How are we doing on this Friday, JR?
Conrad, I am doing amazing. I am looking so forward to the big game. There's going to be a big bash at my house, and we are going to make our clients, like we always do, a ton of money. So here's what you want to do. Text the word WIN, W-I-N, to the number 545454. We're going to give you the big game absolutely free. You get it through text message, guys. I'm making this one easy. And, I mean, look, I know some of you may even have your mind set up, made up. Don't do that. Get my opinion. I'm 15-5 in the NFL here on air with Landrum throughout the year. I'm here to make you money. Let me do my job. Text the word WIN to 545454. Get the game absolutely free through text message. And we're going to be doing a lot more than just the game side. I hope you get signed up with us because we make a lot of money on the big game through all the different parlays and prop bets that we're going to be putting together for our clientele.
Well, and JR, as we know, you've been on us for such a long time, do a great job with the NFL, and your hit rate is absolutely incredible. But I wanted to ask, because I imagine it's Super Bowl Sunday, a lot of excitement, probably a lot of people maybe dipping their toes into the wagering waters. What advice would you give to somebody that's saying, hey, you know what? I want to get in on the fun, I want to get in on the fervor, and I want to find a way to make a smart financial decision, but also get in on the fun of wagering on the big game. What advice would you give to those clients?
So whatever amount you're going to decide to wager total, and I mean the total amount that you're dedicating to this game, which should only be a percentage of your overall bankroll. But you're right. There's a lot of people that are just going to, maybe put $500 in an account, and this is the only game they're going to bet this year.
Yeah.
If that's the case, what you want to do, first off, text WIN to 545454. You want to bet my side of the game for half of whatever you're going to put total on the game. And then break up all the other bets, okay? And it's going to be based on the amount that it's going to pay. So, in other words, if you have a parlay you're putting in, that might pay 10-1 on a couple of prop bets that you're putting together. That should be for less money than the prop bets that you're putting together that are going to pay 2.5 or 3-1, which are much more likely to win. So you might use 15% on the 3-1, and you might only use 4% or 2% on that 10 or 11-1 shot that you're putting out there. So, I mean, listen, strategy is the name of the game. That is paramount when it comes to the big game, obviously, which is part of the reason why clients have so much success dealing with us, not just getting the right side of games, but it's really the strategy that counts. So, again, text WIN, W-I-N, to 545454. Let me give it to you for free.
And our listeners absolutely want to take advantage of that great opportunity there, JR. And I guess just as we go along and kind of putting a bow now on the NFL season, it's been a very successful one for you, and that's why our clients or our listeners want to trust you when it comes to their advice for the big game. Now, when it comes to prop bets, JR, do you kind of get wrapped in all that? There's some really silly ones out there. I know a lot of people have fun with that around the Super Bowl. What's your thought process on prop bets? Are you a fan of them, or do you advise people to stick more with maybe the total, the over-under, that kind of a thing? What's your philosophy there on prop bets for the Super Bowl?
That's why I said you should definitely have at least half. So this way you don't lose all of your money on the prop bets, right? The sports books make their money on people losing the prop bets. They actually lose money on the game side. It's been for years now that the public has won the game side, but they lose so much money in prop bets that it pays off huge for the sports book. So I do pick them. I have to give them to clientele because I know they're going to bet them, but I try to be the voice of reason, right? We're not going to go and bet the length of the national anthem or heads or tails on the coin flip. We don't do dumb stuff where it's more of a chance, right? So we try to put things together that make sense. For instance, we have time for a free pick. I'm going to give a free pick on air. I'll give it now.
Okay, JR, so we always look forward to the free pick. So what is our free pick for the big game coming up on Sunday?
So the reason why I was saying that is that the free pick this week, I'm going to give you a prop bet, one that makes a lot of sense, right?
Okay.
So obviously there's no Zach Charbonnet in this matchup for the Seattle Seahawks. Going to be a tremendous amount of dependency, of course, on Kenneth Walker III. I'm looking for him easily. You want to put rush and receiving yards together for 100 plus, which is minus about 105. Okay, so you get a nice value on that one. And then we're going to put that with several other props that are going to be out there that people can really make a score on if they're involved with us. Last year, even though it's the first year in 7 years I lost the game side of the big game, I got to tell you, we still had a huge profitable day because of all of the prop bets that we put together. We still wound up making our clients about 7 units on the game overall. So that's the name of it. Again, the free bet here on air, take Kenneth Walker, receiving and rushing yards to go over 100. That'll be minus about 105. Like I said, in fact, I gave you that one with another one that pays 3.5 to 1 on my podcast. Make sure you check out the Bet Big Talk Loud podcast. This week's, which is dropping today, we'll have another one on there, but the one from last week, I gave you 2 of them together, pays about plus 330, 340, and that's on the Bet Big Talk Loud podcast. And as always, guys, make sure that you give us that text message so I can give you the game side for free. Text the word WIN, W-I-N, to the number 545454. And as always, be safe, have fun, and let's make some big game money.
Absolutely, JR. Well, we appreciate it all. As always, a big game coming up for Kenneth Walker on Sunday. And again, 545454, that's the number to text to get JR's pick for the game on Sunday. JR, appreciate it. Can't wait to talk to you again next week.
Always my pleasure. You have yourself a great weekend. Enjoy the big game. You too, Pat.
All right. Thank you, JR. That is JR giving you where the sharp money is going ahead of Super Bowl Sunday, a big one coming up between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. Right now, Seattle sitting around a 4.5-point favorite in that game coming up from Levi's Stadium there in the Bay Area. Well, we got 2 more hours left to go. Plenty of time for you to make it up here to Crafts on 280. We've got a ton of fans here celebrating the Birmingham Stallions. We've got head coach AJ McCarron, a number of players from this year's roster as well. We're going to be here broadcasting live for 2 more hours. They've got free food they're giving out. We've got giveaways. We've got koozies, tickets, posters, everything you could possibly want. If you're a Birmingham Stallions fan, make sure you get out here to Crafts on 280. We've got 2 hours left to go. Stay tuned right here to 3 Man Front on Jocks.